Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Real Life and Real Love. I am Sarah Michelle, and I'm a sex, love, and intimacy coach. Today, Hayley's going to be talking with us about what our own personal version of Siren Sexy is. It was brought up in a previous episode, and I thought it would be so much fun to discuss from a fashion standpoint, but also from like an energetic, emotional confidence sort of place as well, what everybody's personal version of it is, because not everybody looks like an Instagram model with this really big booty and really perky breasts and this tidy cinched waist and fluffy lips and I don't know what are the other huge eyelashes. I'm trying to think of all the different trends there are. Like by the time you're done accomplishing all of those things, it's like what part of you is real? But anyway, how can you be your own version of that? Before we get started, though, do you want to take a moment and just introduce yourself?
Yep, so my name is Hayley and I am a stylist. I typically help women step into their own. So using your wardrobe as a tool and a communication piece, because that's essentially what clothes do. They tell us personally information, like when you put on an outfit and you feel sassy and sexy, that's a communication to yourself and you feel it all day long. But we also can use clothes as a communication tool to the outside world. So when you put on a suit and you say go out on a date, it's conveying a specific message. Or if you wore like an LVD and you were out on a date, it's saying a different message. It's a
LVD?
little black dress.
Does everybody else know that acronym?
Sorry.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about being a sexy siren and what does that mean. So we each go on our own personal journey, and we are on one already, of what things mean to us, like relationships, conversations, emotional pieces. And typically when somebody wants to feel sexy or go on a date and be sexy or wants to show up in their best sexy self, there are a lot of questions. There can be a lot of fears. There can be a lot of, well, I'm not an Instagram worthy model. To honestly, FYI, Instagram models are not Instagram models either. They are not that. Like as you said, there's a lot of like artificial things that can be added or affected. There can be literally a filter on top, as well as editing, as well as poses. And like if you think about it from this perspective, if you ever want to compare yourself to something that is in a movie, on a printed magazine or an advertisement or a card or anything that you see like that, anything that is in a store that's an advertisement, anything that is a picture or an image, whether it's static or moving, of a woman, that was so pre-prepared. That person doesn't wake up like that. Literally doesn't. Like, you know, that saying in Beyonce's song, like, I woke up like this. Like, that is the point of that, because nobody did. Like, we don't. We're allowed to accentuate the things we like. We're allowed to minimize things that we like. But you just have to remember that person doesn't actually look like that. Like, if you ever need an introduction to it, go on TikTok, go on YouTube, Google it. Like, what models look like in real life. They are showing you, they're taking off their makeup, they're taking off their clothes. They spent 3 hours in hair and makeup. They don't own those clothes at that photo shoot or in that movie. It is costume set. Somebody has created it specifically for that static image or moving, like whether it's a movie or whatever. It's not real. And we're so exposed to the information that this is real, we compare ourselves to something that's not real. It's a little bit crazy. Like if you don't see her walking down the street like that ever, then it's not real. When you are out in public, when you look at other human beings, do you see, you know, the perfect model, an Instagram worthy model, or that kind of image? No, you don't. What do you see? You see real noses. You see real
Real noses.
real noses. I couldn't think of anything else. Real body shapes. We'll, you know, thin hair. We'll see somebody with textured skin. We'll see so much reality. And if we were talking in terms of wanting to feel your sexy siren self for a date or for your man, talk to your man about what he finds attractive. He doesn't find oversized lips attractive. Typically, men are like, I don't understand that. He doesn't find artificial implants that sexy. Like, your man is happy to see hair on your body. He's happy to see texture. He's happy to see you wear whatever makes you happy. Like, if you're turned on, he's turned on. He's like, tick, okay, that's what we needed. We just need to get the engine revved up and we can start from here. Because he knows it starts with you. And that's where it's like, I actually can't remember if it was Esther Perel or somebody else talked about how often the female sexual arousal is based on a egoic arousal system. So we will often be turned on by ourselves, and men are turned on by us. So it's a state of where are we in peace with ourselves and what we find attractive and don't. So one, if you're comparing yourself to an image that was put together by world experts for one single shot, then edited, you can throw that away. It's not realistic. And two, if you're thinking that your man wants to see that, have that conversation with him and you'll be able to throw that away. So the real questions are, now that we've got that rubbish out of the way, what do you like? What turns you on? Be okay with that. Do you like red? Do you like yellow? Do you like, are you a sensual, textural type person? You need to touch things. Do you like the smell of things? Do you like the audible feels of like, do you like noises? Like, I forget my words. When we start talking this,
like when belly dancers wear those little belts.
Like, when you hear something like that, are you just like, oh my God, yes, please? Like, that's what you want to feel from yourself. Spend some time asking that. Then open your wardrobe. Look at the existing clothes you've got. Go through your lingerie drawer. If you don't have a lingerie drawer, go to the shop and touch all the bras and knickers. Do whatever it takes for you to get into that zone and say, what do I like? Because I need to be turned on for me to make the conscious decision to be a sexy siren. That's where it starts, with you. Not with an Instagram picture, not with something you've seen in a movie, not with some idea you've made up in your mind about what your man wants to see. It's actually, what do I like? And be okay with the answer. If you love the color brown, do you have brown lingerie? If not, you should probably change that if you like lingerie. If you're a person who likes, textured, tactile things. If you're a person who likes skin, do you like soft skin? Do you like fragrant skin? Do you like, this sounds very interesting, wet skin? Like, would you like want to be in the shower or the bath and you're like, oh yes please? Like, you want those moments where you feel basically your head throw back and your throat open up, and all
And you said, like, in a shower, yes please. All I could picture was like putting on my lingerie, and before I walk in the room, just taking one of those spray bottle fans, just like spraying myself down. Sorry. Okay. Just having a good time over here, imagining everything you're talking about.
If that's your turn on, if that's what you did, you put lingerie on that you just like, yes please, and you like demisted or misted your body with like some kind of fragrance, and then walked in the room and you were just like, I am the sassy queen, I am a sexy siren, your man is going to be like, I will eat you for dinner. We are gone because I have no time to see anything else in existence. What is that? Holy cow. He is going to be, because you are in the zone, and that's what he wants. Like, that's the indication of, okay, I think the oven is warming up. Okay, cool. We're on track. Like, men smell it in the air, not just the fragrance that you put on. They can tell. If you're in the other room and you're like getting all sassy for something, you're probably going to be, making some kind of like noise where you're like humming or talking, or you'll make random noises. His ears will be like, what? Something is happening. And I swear to God, energetically in the house, you can be on the other side of the house doing whatever it is you're doing to get into your zone. It's almost like every antenna on his body is going to be like, something is changing. Like your bodies are aware of each other. So I think we've talked about in a previous episode, we're like, because some of these emotions, they're heart focused and heart centered emotions when you're like wanting to be sexy and turned on. And your heart zone is the biggest communication frequency around your body. I cannot remember the feet right now because I forget my words when we start recording, but it is a massive zone around you. And we literally are in each other's frequency, in each other's heart zones. And men feel that. They can tell if you're upset, and they find it so confusing when you say you're not, but clearly you are, and they can feel that you are. And he'll notice when your heart space changes because you're feeling the vibes. You're like, this is really yummy. Oh my God, I want to do this. And he just wants to be there. He just wants to see it. He wants to taste it. He wants to smell it. He wants every part of it. He's like, if you're serving, I am eating. He's like, available for this. And when you're not in a relationship and you're around other people that like when you're out in the bar or something like that, they catch that vibe from you too. Like, I don't know if you have ever seen the ways that men react. And it's very fascinating when you're like people watching and have these conversations with men. They're not looking for the best looking woman in the room. They're looking for the woman who gives them the best vibe, the best feels. So it's not always like, they're not looking for the perfect woman. They're looking for the woman that makes them feel their best. And she's feeling her best. So it's like a win-win. So like helping you get into that zone of, what do I love? Do I like feathers? Do I like velvet? Do I like satin? Do I like lace? Do I like audible sounds? Like, is there something like, is it calming ocean? Is it jingling jewels? I love jingling jewels. Is it the sound of a bottle popping? I don't know. You might want to pop some champagne and clink some glasses. Like, there are things that get you, this is on the right track, like starting your motor.
Okay, so how about this? One of the probably most common things we've all heard is that someone feels too fat to be sexy, too fat to wear lingerie, too fat to walk around naked, whatever. They just feel too fat. How do you, I mean, obviously you can address that on a mental, like a mindset and an emotional level, but like on something tangible. So say the person doesn't want to spend the next 2 months doing personal development. They've got a date Friday and they want to feel sexy. What are those sort of things they can do with their outfits, with their accessories, to just help them feel more comfortable right now?
The first thing is to ask yourself, is a mental and emotional situation, why don't I feel ready and sexy? I have all the body parts to do the physical thing. I want to feel it, so why am I not feeling it? And let whatever answer come to the surface. If you cry, if you get excited, whatever it is, there might be something we just go, oh, some jerk back in whatever grade said something to me and it stuck with me forever. Or when I go into a shop and I try on knickers, they cut into like my hip. And so I feel like they should be sitting flush on the side of my body, therefore I'm too overweight. And or I don't fit into a size that I would like to fit or I used to fit into, therefore I'm not sexy. We make decisions in our mind of what that is, and that's why it's asking yourself, like, what is the resistance and what's in the way? Like, why don't I feel it? But I do want to feel it. So why am I letting this get in the way? Like, I could be so happy, satisfied, and turned on right now. And all it takes is a decision or a couple that I make. Am I willing to feel the emotions that are in my way in order for me to feel that fucking incredible feeling that I would rather be feeling? You have to let yourself move through the emotions and the feelings that you're resisting. You're going to survive. You'll be okay. In fact, if this is your purpose, moving through these shitty emotions to get to the good ones, do it. Holy shit, do it. Because on the other side, there's an orgasm waiting for you. So don't resist it. Like, say yes. Get to the other side. Physically, if you are holding yourself to a standard of a size or like the way it cuts in on your body or something like that, throw that shit out the window. If you have a partner, ask him,
Okay, so I am someone who hates the cutting in on the hip part.
So
Like,
do
I
I.
feel like that instantly makes me feel fat. Um, but one of the ways that I have gotten around that is I just buy lace. If I can find like a thong that has a lace side, it'll sit there because it's got that flexibility. Or like gosh, you can get these off of Amazon for like 15-20 bucks. Like the lace bodysuits, and they're so forgiving because they're so stretchy and they're so soft, and it's basically like a one-piece swimsuit, right? And you can get them in different lace patterns and lots of different colors, but they're so comfy. And a lot of them have the snaps in the crotch, which the last one that I put on, I actually put it on for a photo shoot. I didn't even realize this is how comfortable it was. I didn't even realize it had snaps in the crotch until I took it off and was washing it. I was like, oh, well, this one does too. So those can be like really fun and easy and comfortable. And you might even be able to wear them like with some pants and a jacket another time and wear them out, kind of depending on what it is and how you style it. But it might not be a one time only.
Yeah, there's no rules. If you're uncomfortable with how things fit like on the side of your body, that's why it's like important to get clear on why do I feel that way? Did somebody say it to me? Did I see it? One, did I see it in a marketing advertising campaign where it's that flash? One, we just talked about this. It's Photoshop. It's not even real. Don't look at it. Don't think about it. Go into if you want to put on if you're a size 14 and you want to put on a size 12, but you can't, stop looking at the fucking label. It is just a fucking number. Your feelings of being sexy are not numbers, they are feelings. We can't keep comparing ourselves. So I used to do design and import. We used to literally design and come up with it's called production, and we would import it from another country. I had to communicate with the other country. These tags get sewn into this size. The other people on the other side don't know what it says on that tag. They don't know. They can sew it into the wrong clothes. They can sew it into the right ones and they can sew it into the wrong ones. The label means nothing. It is just an identification tag, which is meant to make it easier for you to know what you're wearing or to constantly buy that one. We all know it doesn't work anymore because let's not talk about the size of clothes. But
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking of when you said the whole thing about sizes. Like, it's not even size from one country to another anymore. Like, you can go from one store to another. You can't buy a size 8 pant everywhere.
no, like I'm a size 6 in Australia, which I think is size 0 to 2 in America. Like that alone should say I'm the same person at the same point in time with the same body, and it's literally just a number. It means nothing to me. We have to decide that I would like to feel sexy. What makes me sexy? How do I and explore what that feels like? Go to the lingerie store and try stuff on. You don't have to buy it. Try it on. Have a glass of champagne, then go. Fuck whatever it takes. There are no rules. Have as much fun as you want. Go online. Talk to a man. If you're single and want to go out and go on a date and you want to find out what do men these days find sexy, any man is willing to tell you. They will not be quiet. You can take as many surveys as you want that day. You can ask the man at McDonald's. You can ask the man at the supermarket. You can ask the man like who's literally delivering the post
You're going
that
to get a
day.
lot of different answers.
You're going to get some interesting answers because they often men, one, have no problems giving you that information. Two, they're going to go, and they'll say something very different to what you're prepared for. Some men like women to be like sweetie, sexy. Like we're like, ugh, gross. I would like to be clean and dry and smell very good. And some men are like, no, like sweetie and salty. Like you've got to be you have to be prepared for a man to be completely turned on by who you are naturally. Even when you're trying to hold yourself to this other standard, he may be like, no, 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 like just got back from a run. Like that's what I want. Like be prepared for that. Be prepared for him to not give a clown whether there are straps on your bra, whether you have a bra on, like the size of your breast. They don't actually care. So men, yes, there are triggers and things that turn them on, but just like us, it's actually an emotional state we're wanting to achieve, and there's a physical result. So we can have different conversations and we can have different feelings about it. So it's asking yourself, what do I like? And having fun exploring that. Do I want to hear certain sounds? Do I want to smell certain things? Like, do you like the smell of roses? Heck, do you want roses in the room? Is that what makes you feel like, ooh, okay, I would like
this.
today. So I would like to wear a robe with feathers. Okay, cool. Yes, okay. I would like a robe with feathers. Do I like lace? I don't know. Do I like velvet? Yeah, I like velvet. And in terms of the things like with stuff cutting in on your side, to be really fucking honest, do you even need to wear knickers? I mean, like, if they're in the way and they're stopping you from feeling sexy, don't wear them. Honestly, make the rules yourself. Like, there are no rules. And if they're in your way of feeling sexy, remove them out of the way. The man's going to do it eventually anyway. So it's fine. You just need to come back to, who am I? And what do I like? What turns me on? And having as much fun as you can exploring that. You're allowed to be turned on by anything that turns you on. It's okay. It's all right. You're allowed to want somebody to smack your ass and pull your hair.
Oh my God, you know what gets me? That's totally random. Well, I feel like it's totally random anyway. I haven't met another person who said, oh yeah, that's my thing too. I love it when a guy can handle his car. So when he like backs up into a parking space or something, it's like, I don't, I don't know. But just right along with what you're saying is like, yeah, people have these kinks, quirks, whatever you want to call it. And it's perfectly fine because, I mean, people get turned on by the most random things. And it just is what it is.
Yeah. And in terms of clothes, like if you are uncomfortable with going to the lingerie store, have a look online. If you are a specific size, so I'm a smaller person, so I have skinny girl problems, as in like if I exercise too much, I get very, very bony and I feel very conscious because the world likes to point out how skinny and bony I am, and I feel very bad and I try and eat more so I can please everybody else. I have a different problem to a lot of other people, but it's still valid and still real. If I Google stuff to do with like skinny girl problems and being too bony and what are the solutions, the internet is going to provide the information. If you are on a different scale, if you feel top heavy, you feel like your shoulders are too big, or you feel like your waist is too small, or you feel like your thighs are too big, somebody else in the world, like if you don't know how to get yourself out of this pickle, Google it or go to TikTok and look it up, YouTube or TikTok. You are not alone. And there are other people with very freaking smart solutions who can just say, oh, this is what I did. These are the pants that I bought. These are the knickers that I bought. These are the knickers that I decided to throw out because of this reason. Like, you know, there is a beautiful movement at the moment. We're changing the size of the gusset in underwear so it like actually can contain all of your bits and pieces. Big girls or small girls have the same type of problems in that area. So you're not alone. So you're allowed to have your problems and want to solve them and to talk to other people about it. You don't have to just be like, oh, well, to be sexy, I need to wear lingerie and smell like Chanel perfume and have red lipstick on and high heels. But if that's not your kink and that doesn't turn you on, don't fucking do it. What a waste of time and money. And you'll be as dry as the Sahara Desert when you get to your date. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself and don't do him. Like, he's so disappointed because you'll be like, it's okay, it's okay. Like, it's so mechanical and gross to think like that, right? Like if we go, but what makes me juicy? Or what really makes me juicy? If I need to get a glass of wine, sit down, think about it, write a list. If you're a list girl, figure out how to get yourself into that frame. If you need to put on your favorite movie to get you into the vibes where you're like, oh, if you need to read a sexy novel so that your mind can get into the flow, go pick a book. Don't hold back. Like, men are not holding back. So why the fuck are we constantly holding back? Zero reasons valid. If you would like to feel like a sexy siren, you're going to need to make choices and explore things and try stuff. Try on all the wardrobe that make you feel sexy. Like, put them on and say, do they what about this makes me feel sexy? Do I like to show cleavage? Do I like to show side boob? I know that's a thing that some people seem to like, and men freaking like it as well. Do
Men
I
like under boob, and I'm like, who designed under boob? This is really hard to accomplish. Like, you want them up and perky, but you also want to see the bottom. Like, what is going on here?
So like there are things where you can try on what you've got, figure out like do I like anything about my breasts, or do I not like my breasts at all? Do I like soft floaty things? Do I like straps, metal chains, and bondage? Do I like both? Do I like texture? Do I want my clothes to smell like Chanel No. 5? What is the thing that you just go, yeah, that's for me. That's yours. You can own that. And if you show up in that feeling. So, one thing that I often teach some of my clients to when they're struggling with this stuff is to play around with lingerie during the day. So, put on your favorite like underwear that makes you feel amazing underneath your everyday clothes and just walk around. Feel how wet you feel all day. Every now and again, you'll be like, oh yeah, like if you go to the bathroom, you'll be like, oh my God, those knickers. Yes, that's right. I spent a shit ton of money on those knickers and I've just remembered I'm still wearing them. And you just
don't even have to spend a shit ton. I remember I bought from Amazon. It was like, I think it was 20 pairs of underwear for $28.99 or something like that. Like, but you just didn't get to choose them. It was like a variety pack. You just got to choose medium, large, whatever it was. And you got to choose if you wanted like full coverage, bikini, or thong. And I mean, I definitely got some in that were too big or too small or whatever, because it was a mixture. But at that price, if I find 5 in there that work well, great. And I did. I found some really fun ones in there.
yeah, you never sometimes really know. And that's why it's important to explore. If you're confident or willing, talk to your girlfriend. Say, hey, what makes you feel sexy? Like ask group chat. Ask your sisters if you've got a really good relationship with your sisters. Have the conversations. Sometimes they'll go, oh, I don't know, skydiving might be your thing. You may need to have adrenaline rush before you go out on a date. I don't know. Whatever it is fine. And if you have those conversations, sometimes your girlfriends will provide interesting information where you can go, oh, yeah. So for me personally, I know how to get dressed and look the part. For me emotionally, it has been a struggle in the last few years. So I started taking dance classes specifically because I wanted to get in touch with the physical disconnection that I was feeling. Like I can move my body and make it look that way, but I don't feel whatever feelings are going on the inside for people. So I have spent so much time in like every level of literally trying to explore this. And I have had some juicy conversations with women. Like if you talk to women about what makes them feel sexy and they may say, I don't really know. And if you look at them and you're like, well, have you seen the shape of your body? And she'd be like, I don't know, it's a little bit too curvy. And you're like, girl, I'll have it. That is stunning. We forget to embrace ourselves and we can help each other in this journey too. So this doesn't mean to be like, oh, well, only I need to be as wet as a waterfall today. And I just need to, be the only person who's finding out the information. You're in this life with good girlfriends and you can go and find girlfriends on the internet if you need some more. There are chat rooms and there are people who are willing to have these conversations on TikTok especially. And explore what this is like for you, as well as being in community with other women. You're not alone. If you have this as a question and a conversation, you're not alone. Somebody else is having the same thoughts. Thousands of other people literally have the same thoughts. They have the same kinks, they have the same questions, they have the same problems. And when you get into community and you can boost each other by saying, my goodness, I wish I had shoulders. So I know that some women get worried that their shoulders are too wide and their hips are too narrow, and that's not the typical hourglass shape. There are clothes that you can wear that will minimize your shoulders and accentuate your hips. But the number one thing that you can wear that actually does that is your confidence. And to find your confidence, it's to know what you like and don't like. It's to know what turns you on and what doesn't. Like it comes from in here, it comes from inside you, it comes from what you're thinking and what you're feeling. And that's why, like, if you let yourself ask the questions, if you let yourself have answers, if you explore all of these types of things that we've talked about today, you'll find some interesting information. If you go online and like Google it, go on TikTok, look on YouTube, and look for what everybody else is struggling with and their answers and solutions, you'll be so amazed at how much you'll be like, wow, I am not the only one. You may want to go to dance classes to reconnect with your body like I did. You may want to just get out and about and go for a solitude coffee because you feel empowered. And when you feel empowered, that turns you on and you're like, oh, where does the waterfall? And then you're ready for your day. Whatever it is, it's fine. There is no rules apart from the ones that you make up for yourself. And as we covered at the very beginning, we are not allowed to stop ourselves anymore. Like if you have a resistance, like I want to be a size 12, but I'm only fitting into size 14, fuck the label. Get rid of the number. It's completely irrelevant to how you feel. You're letting a number on a literally a piece of fabric. The person who sewed it in doesn't care. So why should you? They don't care where they put it. So why are we letting that dictate how we feel? Why are we letting artificial images on the internet and movies and marketing and advertising dictate if we like that little bit of muffin top? Like if it cuts in or not. Man, have you ever talked to a man who likes a woman's body? He wants to grab that muffin top and do whatever he wants to it. Like he is like, if you don't have muffin top, I'm not interested. Because that is something I can grab and like he is interested in that. We have let ourselves be talked down and talked into emotional negative states of being by fake images and marketing and media. It's fake, it's not real. Models cannot sustain that size body for their entire life. It is a short-term goal. It's a short-term career. They literally hurt themselves to be like that. There are literally standards in some countries now because what is the traditional model is so not a woman's body and so harmful, they've had to ban it. But we have been so exposed to this information and these emotional turmoils that we let ourselves get into. It's fake. We have to let it go. We have to be okay with the process of letting it go. And then when that fucks off, you're allowed to ask your question, what are because I'm dead serious.
And then when that fucks off.
When you just say no longer available for this to be running my life, this label and this piece of clothes, the way these knickers cut in, fucking wear it. I have been to like sexy, like slow and sexy dance classes, and I've looked at the way women are standing, the lingerie that they're wearing, the ones that the most stunning women in these classes, the lingerie is cutting into the side of their body. It is cutting into like under their bum cheek. It's cutting into their like their breasts are like plastered to their chest, and there's like this massive cut in line. It's fake. We've been told we have to be smooth and perfect. It doesn't exist. That's why we're struggling with it. So once that fucks off, we're allowed to wear whatever we want, feel the way we want, be as turned on as we want, and then figure out if we want a man involved or not.
Such a good note to end on. Figure out if we want a man involved or not.
It's
well, I hope everybody listening feels really excited. Like to go out, explore this, and start playing with it so that they can find their own version of their sexy siren. Thank you for sharing all of this information today. And for everyone watching, please take time to like the video, comment below on what your favorite way to get in the mood to feel sexy is, and be sure to subscribe so you can see future videos of ours. And we will see you all soon.